Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Chris Vallée.
I was diagnosed with anorexia in 2012, and after a strenuous 6 years of treatment, I'm happily recovered. Unfortunately, the lack of funding and the greater demand for eating disorder treatment presents challenges for patients who require specific accommodations, and that needs to change. This interview is being translated by an ASL interpreter.
My name is Brigitte McCauley-Philion. And this is my sign name. I identify as deaf, and in terms of work, I support children who have serious disabilities, medical fragility, and medical complexities.
How old were you when you realized that you had some issues with food, and what was that like?
Well, growing up, I always seriously struggled with negative body image. However, my relationship with food at that time was fine. I have been seeing a therapist for a long time for a number of different reasons. And one day, I just decided to share that I was not eating. But at that time, I felt that I didn't need treatment. So what happened was my therapist contacted my family doctor, and we sat down and had a discussion. And eventually I was referred to the hospital. There, I went to group treatment. If I remember correctly, I went twice to group treatment. 1 year after that, my community team made the decision that I needed more help. And I was referred to residential treatment. Now, I had been accepted to residential treatment previously, but I didn't go. And the reason for that is they provided only 2 hours of interpreting service per week. Now, given that it's a full-time program, that would be inaccessible to me. And I didn't imagine how I would succeed. Really, what happened is the residential treatment team decided how to accommodate me instead of vice versa. And that's not right.
You wrote a beautifully written article a few months back on the challenges you face with treatment. Why did you take that leap of faith and share your story?
Well, most of my life, I've played the role of an advocate. I wrote that article because I was angry. I was angry at that time because I needed help and I couldn't get it. So I was faced with the decision to either remain angry or to try to improve the system. So I tried to improve the system.
And how have you been doing since the pandemic began?
Honestly, I've really been struggling. At the beginning of the pandemic, my mental health took a steep decline. I was sleeping all the time. I was avoiding my meal plan. My community treatment stopped. Now it's been a year, and I'm really making an effort in terms of my recovery. I really struggle with my eating disorder, but I want to feel better. Sometimes it feels like I will always have an eating disorder. But at the same time, I have experienced some recovery. I know that it's a process, and with time and work, full recovery is possible.
Well, Brigitte, thank you so much for being a voice for many people who relate to your story. And I can attest that wanting to recover is the first step to a difficult yet very rewarding journey.